What's up, beautiful people? Happy Father's Day. Happy Men's Day. Hope you guys are celebrating the men in your life for all that they do and all that they represent and are. I'm going to take you guys through a leg workout just because I feel like it and show you some cool equipment. Follow along. Tell me what you guys think. One of my biggest challenges often remains getting the volume just right. Not too much and not too little. And a lot of that revolves around how much volume I do with legs with my recovery ability, especially as a natural. You don't have this enhanced anabolic growth signal going all the time to expedite your recovery, so you can do other things to help your recovery. I can make a separate video about that, but especially as a natural, like the leg volume has to be optimal to stimulate growth, but not just annihilate your ability to recover and train other muscles. All right, so I want to show you what I think is the best way to structure a leg workout as a natural. So I always like to start with calves. My calves are still a weak point and probably always will be just because of genetics. So getting a pump in your leg with the calves first. Second, depending on if you're splitting with posterior and anterior chain with different days, I'd like to definitely start out with some sort of leg curl machine. Warms the legs up, gets blood in them, and often for the majority of people, hamstrings are weaker than quads. And then I like to move into a compound movement, some sort of compound movement, squatting, deadlifting, whatever, depending on the day, if you're doing posterior, anterior, or depending on what you want to focus on. Then definitely unilateral movement, and you're going to see this in workout. I do 2 unilateral movements, and then some sort of isolation / finisher movement. So I think that's the best way to break down and to think about training legs as a natural. All right, we're going to start out with calves today. I'm going to show you one of my favorite movements for calves now. Have you guys ever heard of the bob? That little thing I'm using, it's called the bob. I'm using it on a piece of wood to give me more pre-stretch. It gives me like a feel of a hoist rocket standing calf raise. But I'm using this Strive medical squat machine, and my calves are all the way out at the end, so it feels like I carry in 612 calf raise. But just much better because I can manipulate the strength curve with the Strive technology, and the bob is much more comfortable. Then we're going to switch into a leg curl. This is the Bodymaster standing leg curl. I believe it's the best dedicated standing leg curl machine out there. I'm just using 1 and 2 sets. I'm focusing on quads today, but I'm just supersetting with my hips extended to my hips flexed. That's the beauty of this machine. I sometimes struggle whether I decide whether I stand outside or inside like I'm doing in this part to do the leg curl. But great machine, belt driven, one of Bodymaster's best machines. But I like to warm up the legs even though I'm focusing on quads today. Just give me a little extra hamstring warm up when I do a compound squat movement in a minute. So I've done it both ways, where you pre-exhaust with leg extensions to a compound leg movement or just gone straight into the compound leg movement. And I still prefer to at least have 1 or 2 sets to warm up the quads and get a little blood in before I do some compound movement. This is the David leg extension. Great feel on this. I'm just warming up the quads, getting a little blood in before I do my compound movement. So I've got so many cool machines. I tend to rotate every mesocycle, a couple different movements, quad dominant, a couple different movements, hamstring or posterior chain dominant for my compound movement. This is my compound movement today. It's the HQ line front squat machine. I've featured this on here before. You can see I've modified this and added several more weight horns than just the original. The original has the weight in the back. The others are 3 weight horns are up front. What this does is make the movement harder. I found it was just almost too easy. You could put just a ton of weight on that original horn in the back, so I wanted to make it more challenging, particularly at the bottom of the movement. You can see these other weight horns highlight more the bottom and the front of the movement. So I have not done a barbell front squat in years, to be honest. I love a barbell front squat. I just haven't done it in years because I haven't had to, because I've had machines like this that I can use to give me the stability, but also focus on the quads without causing a tremendous amount of CNS fatigue. So I love this machine. I'm doing supersetting with my heels up on a wedge to flat on the surface. This lights up your abdominals. That's one of the reasons I love doing front squats in general, because it just lights up your abs. You don't need to do any necessary direct ab training a lot of the times if you do squats appropriately. But no tension on the lower back. And to me, just a front squat movement is far superior to a back squat. If you're focusing on hypertrophy, if you're a power lifter or whatever else, go for it. I don't really care. But to me, honestly, front squat movement is king as far as like traditional squat movements. And like I said, I almost feel embarrassed to say I haven't done a front squat, barbell front squat in years, even though I used to love them, because I've got so many squat machines that I'm very fortunate to use. So I'm trying to get a little extra depth on some of these reps. That's the cool thing. You can see just the way this machine sets you up. I've done a few warm-up sets. This is my one working set, just adding weight each time to warm up. I still like to go high, 15 to 20 reps on my hard working set with 1 or 2 warm-up sets. For me, that's enough volume, but not too much volume if I really push that set hard. And obviously, like we talked about before, it's a skill, learning how to push yourself. But this is a phenomenal machine. So you can see I'm tiring getting near the end of my set. I'm trying to get some oxygen in there. And you can see in just a second, I'm going to assist myself on the bottom on a couple of these reps. Pushing on this bar just to assist myself on the last couple, to try to eke out another couple solid reps. All right, so now I'm going to do a unilateral movement. This is one of my new favorite movements. This is on the Strive Medical squat machine. It's a split squat / step up. My toes are up on a pad. I'm using the Fortis glute bench behind me. And you can see it's the bottom of the movement is a split squat. The top of the movement is really a step up. I'm stepping up and through. And what you're going to see in a second, if you can see, is I actually rock forward. My toes rock forward from the pad to really hit my quads well. This has got to be, honestly, one of my favorite leg movements of all time. Split squats are phenomenal. Step-ups are phenomenal. This is kind of a combination that hits the entire leg. And the beauty of this machine, is I'll show you in a second, is I can hit it exactly where I want it to be heavy and exactly where I want it to be light. But this setup, it feels better than it looks. It looks like whatever, but the feel and stimulation on your legs without too much CNS fatigue is that ratio is definitely in your favor. So I don't know, the older I get, the more I honestly prefer unilateral movements for a lot of body parts. Maybe it's because of the superior range of motion, maybe because I'm able to control it better, or maybe I just feel a better stimulus and pump, but I love unilateral movements, and this is definitely up there. I love squat machines to be able to do this. So you can see me rocking that knee forward at the bottom of it to really accentuate quad, and then stepping up through my toes to hit some glute. The stretch on your glutes and the stretch on your quads in one movement, can't think of another movement that gives me this sort of stimulation, and it gives me in this position to stimulate muscle. All right, so this is the setting that works perfect. I'm end range focused on the first part of the movement, and I'm end range focused on the last part of the movement. That movement will just absolutely light up your entire leg. And you can see that little rocking forward really helps me hit extra quad. And obviously, depending on how you feel, I often like to put a leg press movement in. Today I'm using a unilateral leg press. And just because I have so much cool equipment, like, I need to use it. So I showed this before on my Instagram page. This is my modified seated squat pro. I can't say enough about this. Like, if you guys come to my gym, this is the one of the top 5 modifications I've made that is just total lights out. This machine was always so freaking good. Like, the leverage on this is so good. Like, it's so smooth, but your hips are just way too high when you start this movement. You can see, made a video comparing this to the original pendulum squat from Tyler Hobson. This is such a sophisticated machine if they actually fix the foot plate. Like, it's way too far up. Like, you have to sit on like 5 pillows to even get in a position where you can actually comfortably get knee flexion and hip flexion without rolling your lower back. Like, It's just such a sham because the leverage on this is so freaking good. Now you can see also what I've done is I've put some Strive technology. Look at that, how I've changed the movement arm. The very bottom weight horn is the original weight horn. The other two I've added. So I can hit beginning, end, or middle range. One leg at a time, and this feels absolutely phenomenal. What I want you to notice is how much knee flexion I can get. Because I've modified the foot plate, the knee flexion on this is crazy unreal. It very much feels like the duo leg press from Nautilus. But the leverage on this, like I said, I can't say enough about the original, how sophisticated the original design of this machine is. But it's just like you can't freaking use it unless you're 4'11", because your hips just come way off the pad. You need to sit on 5 pillows. It's just a sham that they've got such an awesome machine that they just don't know, like, nobody can use. And I will say, honestly, the same thing about the Nautilus Explode leg press. I'll show you guys in a separate video my Nautilus Explode, which it's a game changer, the little changes I've made to the foot plate and the strength here on both machines. You can actually use them without rolling your freaking hips off the backs. But just look at that knee flexion. Look at the knee flexion that I can get comfortably without lifting my lower back off the pad. So I can't say enough about this machine. Check this out. Drops that I moved the weight from the middle horn to the bottom horn. So just doing one drop set. I'm just doing 2 sets on this. And that's the cool thing. The middle horn is actually the hardest because it's furthest away from the arc. So I just do one drop set today. But you could do a whole leg workout based around where your feet are on this particular machine and how you use it. Definitely in my top 2-3 leg machines. In all honesty, it's just a work of perfection, it really is. We're going to do an isolation movement. I'm resorting to my Strive leg curl, leg extension combined machine. Supersetting fully extended, my torso fully extended to my torso partially upright. I added a new hole on this that gives me a better pre-stretch. Showed this machine on here before, but this machine is crazy effective. I love the large pad on this. I need to find someone who can make and manufacture an oversized roller pad like this for a couple other machines, because it makes such a huge difference, both in the pre-stretch and in the comfort level. As you come up to the top of a leg extension, you need that extra little bit. I recently got, I think, my 9th or 10th leg extension. I'll have to show you. I think I'm tapped out of leg extensions. So check this finisher out. If you guys have a Frank Zane leg blaster, I want you to try the movement like this. You don't even need to have a Frank Zane leg blaster. Just use a power rack. So check this setup out. You're going to use a belt around your waist, upper torso area, anchor, rope, and some carabiners, and then you're going to put heel wedge with your toes up. So check this out. This is a really cool variation you could do. I think you're doing it more or less a sissy squat, using the Frank Zane leg blaster with these carabiners and this rope. You're using like a belt squat belt. This just hammers your quads. I mean, if you were asking me for like a perfect, I'm just fast forwarding through. I'm going to do like maybe 50 or 60 reps, just a little bit of weight. I could have added a little more weight to make it a little more finishing, but I'm just looking for that end finishing pump with this. But this is a perfect like quad stimulation movement. Very comfortable, no lower back strain. It feels just like if you're on a pendulum squat with the heel wedge up, or if you're on my new, if you saw the modification I made recently on my swing squat, it feels just like that sissy squat extension I made on my swing squat. Phenomenal way to stimulate the quads and just to finish the workout with a little bit of blood and max reps. Absolutely brutal finisher. I would like to get to the point where I feel like I have one of the best leg sections in the world. I don't have the space that a lot of these commercial gyms have, but as far as selection quality, I want to be up there with the top, especially with my leg section, and I think I'm slowly getting there. Tell me what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe below. what machines would you like to see a separate video of? Back, legs, chest, or any specific machines you've seen or know that I have? Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see, just so I cater the content to you guys. Have an amazing day. I really appreciate your support.